Blog Talk Radio.
When you're an urban planner, sometimes you can't help but share your plans with everyone. The Stranger endorses Cary Moon for mayor, saying she'll bring the brainy, visionary leadership Seattle needs.
I helped plan Pioneer Square. I led the People's Waterfront Coalition. Now I'm running for mayor with a plan to tackle the affordable housing crisis.
The Stranger says Moon is smart, has vision, and is a genuine progressive who's unafraid to call bullshit on big business. Cary Moon, planning Seattle's future. Paid for by Cary Moon for mayor.
From WBRN Radio in Boston and on the Boston Red Network. The title of our episode, the Seattle Mayoral Election. On Tuesday in Seattle, which was the 1st of August, there was an election, and we have the results of the election. I think there were 19 or more candidates running. But in the final analysis, there are basically 4 candidates left. And we'll run it down right now. The leader is the establishment candidate, somebody named Jenny Durkan. She is Hillary the Monster Clinton clone. And then we have the progressive candidates here, Cary Moon, and also Nikkita Oliver of the People's Party. And let's see. I'm not certain as to the other candidate in the race that has, but there is one in that. Farrell is also close with a former state representative, is who she is, and the former mayor there, Mike Jen, is at 7.2%. Another state representative is at 8.6%. But if we look at the two progressive candidates, Ms. Moon and Ms. Oliver, at let's see, Ms. Moon's at 15.6%, and Ms. Oliver at 13.9%. This is from the Seattle Times newspaper. We start out with the PI here, but very progressive people, no doubt about that. This Durkan character was the first openly gay U.S. attorney appointed by Barack Obama. There she's 59 years old. But Moon is 53 years old. Cary Moon. She was down in the Belltown Lounge is where she had hers. She was surprised to be in second place. She is an urban planner and engineer by profession there. She's endorsed by the Stranger newspaper, and it contributed she contributed $90,000 of her own money to the campaign. Wealth and inequality, our housing crisis, and you'll hear from these when we finish up here. We have a roundup from various TV stations, KRO, Como, etc., in Seattle. So this will be a battle, and according to Ms. Moon, she would support Nikkita Oliver, and we would hope also Nikkita Oliver would support her in this race. Nikkita Oliver is 33 years old. The current mayor, Murray, he departed after scandal there. About half of the expected ballots were tallied on Tuesday night. Durkan had 27,579 votes, while Moon led Oliver by 1,500 votes. So it's gotten closer now. They'll get a certification on August the 15th, and they will end up in November. This is supposedly non-partisan election, but we'll see how that works out there. Murray had been the favorite there, the present mayor, but he came into this scandal accusing Murray, some guy from Kent, of sexual abuse in the 80s. And no doubt that was politically motivated, but nonetheless, Murray was a favorite of the business community, period. Oliver's grassroots program, She is the People's Party, attracted more than 1,000 volunteers, raised $120,000 in small donations. She would ratchet up affordable housing and put a freeze on development is what she would do. So this is from the Seattle Times newspaper. And let's go to the PI, our favorite newspaper, the Post-Intelligencer. When we lived in Seattle, we used to read it every day. Of course, we read it at times too. But anyway, Cary Moon maintains a slight lead, and this is on the, let me make sure I've got straight. This was on Wednesday. We'll go to Thursday before we're finished up here. Moon is at 15.73%, 16,168 votes to 13.81%, or 14,190 for Nikkita Oliver. This Durkan character has 31% of the vote, but she is the established at 32,000 votes. But if you look at this simple arithmetic, if these progressive candidates get together, they could basically match this Durkan character, this Hillary the Monster Clinton clone. There, one of the things obviously is all of these people are women. So the next mayor of Seattle will be a woman. The first mayor of Seattle was one Bertha Knight Landes. She served a single 2-year term in the 1920s. So evidently, there's some other contests. We won't get into those other contests out in Seattle, but let's see what else we've got here. Some information on Oliver and her People's Party, and let me just. This is a PI. Get to today's PI. I don't know if they have anything new on the election or not. The headline is up here, and this is the same headline. Moon expands lead over Oliver for second in this race. Second is very important in this particular race. Now, they do not have the Oakland Scourge, as they call it. They call ranked voting. They do not have that. So this is fortunate. So in other words, they will have a runoff, or whatever you want to call it. This is the primary, or their general election. It's nonpartisan, but at the same time, they will have that in November. So that will give the candidates a few months to organize, rest up, and at the same time have an opportunity to organize the People's Party. That's Nikkita Oliver evidently has done very good work there because of the way her grassroots campaign is organized. Now, we started out with a commercial from Cary Moon. The reason we did not have one for Ms. Oliver was we could not find one there, but she's grassroots organizing, so I'm not certain if she spent money on commercials. And I haven't went to her YouTube channel. We'll have more on this race as we continue on with this. But she did, Nikkita Oliver did win a form called the Offbeat form. She was able to win that over the other candidates. We have a picture of her here, of Jenny Moon, and of course Nikkita Oliver here, and I guess Durkan even showed up. She looks sort of out of place at this particular form, but she no doubt was there. But this is an interesting situation. You'll see these showdowns in cities. Bernie Sanders did very, very well out in Seattle. I don't know how he would play into this race, if he would get in this race, but I would assume the Bernie people, the two candidates that we know about there, Ms. Moon and Ms. Oliver, would be endorsed by any of the progressives. Now, Cary Moon has literally fought the developers tooth and nail in Seattle, and is known for fighting the developers in Seattle, being an urban planner. And of course, Nikkita Oliver, being an attorney, being a musician. I think she has a master's in education, went to Seattle University. I used to work there, and the University of Washington. But anyway, nonetheless, interesting thing here. Look at the People's Party of Seattle. Is a community-centered grassroots political party led by and accountable to the people most requiring access and equality in the city of city of Seattle. The People's Party recognizes the troublesome nature of current political structures and seeks to be a meaningful alternative, acknowledging the need for cautious and thoughtful participation in the political structure. We understand political participation to only be a portion of many necessary strategies towards justice for all. Many people possess a profound and deep lack of trust in the system. It is a lack of trust coupled with the need and desire to be solution builders, of which the People's Party is birthed. The People's Party strives to shorten the distance between politics and people by designing a political organizing body which is directly accountable to the people and to the community. The People's Party has zero interest in making a party where community relies upon remote leaders for answers and solutions. Instead, we know the answers and the solutions we need fundamentally lay within the genius of the community. For this reason, we ask to partner with communities of Seattle to develop equitable political strategies and solutions which place people over profits and corporations. They're using a model, all politics are local, the same by our representative, former Speaker of the House, Thomas P. Tip O'Neill in Boston. But these groups are coming up from time to time, and we did the Cary Moon a commercial here, just looking at her site here, and we got Nikkita Oliver's People's Party, which she formed and is running. So either one of these progressive people would be a logical choice for the people of Seattle. We, of course, wouldn't want to tell people how to vote in Seattle, but we would be proud to endorse either one of these candidates, and whomever wins with the progressive pot, we will no doubt endorse them and continue to look upon this race. Now let's get to the other item here that we were looking at early. We'll get to the Quantifact poll. It was the infamous DJ Trump and his golfing empire. Old DJ Trump evidently is quite a golfer there. There's an article in, and we'll probably do this article on the Monday Morning Quarterback in Sports Illustrated about DJ Trump and his being probably the best golfer, according to them, that's been in the White House. Of course, DJ Trump would readily tell you that. There's no doubt about that. But old DJ has been up to various nefarious and evil schemes. Let's just get to those. One of those, this is from the New York Times. Justice Department to take on affirmative action in college admissions. He and his buddy Beauregard Sessions, the Trump administration is preparing to redirect resources of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division towards investigating and suing universities over affirmative action admission policies deemed to discriminate against European/white applicants. That's according to documents obtained by the New York Times. The documents an internal announcement to the Civil Rights Division seeking current lawyers interested in working for a new project on investigation and possible litigation related to intentional race bias discrimination in college and university admissions. The announcement suggests that the project will be run out of the division's front office, where the Trump administration political appointees work, rather than the educational opportunities section. Now, those are career lawyers there, and they would have no part of this scheme. The document does not explicitly identify whom the Department of Justice considers at risk of discrimination because of affirmative action admission policies, but its phrasing use, intentional race-based discrimination, cuts to the heart of the program designed to hire more designed to bring more minority students. We're talking about people of color to colleges. Going to be a terrific pushback against this, no doubt about it. Supporters and critics of the project say it was clearly targeting admission programs that could give members of generally disadvantaged groups like African American, Latino students, an edge over applicants with comparable higher test scores. Not exactly right. Universities always use more criteria than just test scores or grades. In fact, in some states, Texas, for instance, I believe also Kentucky, but Texas, if a student gets an average grade, I believe a C or whatever, they are entitled to go to any university in the, or maybe it's a B, in the state of Texas. And let's see, from Roger Clegg, a former, this is somebody coming back from the Reagan administration, the first Bush administrator who is now president of the Conservative Center for Equal Opportunity. It's called the project Welcome and Long Overdue. The general problem here with DJ Trump and any of his machinations and schemes, Kristen Clark, let me get this in. She's the president of the Committee for Civil Rights on the Law that was created by President Kennedy, criticized the Affirmative Action Project as misaligned with the division's long-standing priorities. She also noted that the Civil Rights Division was created and launched to deal with unique problems of discrimination faced by our nation's most oppressed minority groups, performing work that often no one else has the resources and expertise to do. This is deeply disturbing, as Clark said, and it would be a dog's whistle that could invite a lot of chaos and unnecessary, which they want to do, hysteria among colleges and universities who may fear the government may come down on them for their efforts to maintain diversity on their campuses. But it's more of a sinister scheme than just that. What happens here, and it has happened in California, this happened in Michigan, various other places, people of color are denied admission to state universities that they pay taxes, their parents, etc. There in California, it's created an acute shortage of lawyers, doctors, etc. There, the expanding Latino population, that Latinos have to go to Mexico to get medical degrees, by and large, and law degrees. So that is a problem there. You see it at Berkeley. You see it all over the state of California. Now, education is changing, granted, but also at the same time, we have some problems. The Department of Justice does not discuss personnel matters, according to Devin O'Malley, spokesman there. Declined to provide more details about the plan, or to make the acting head of the Civil Rights Division, somebody named Gore, available to talk about it. So again, this is one of these Star Chamber schemes that they have going there. Gore, he's the acting head of the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. This is in itself a scam. Now, the Supreme Court recently addressed affirmative action admission policies. That was in a 2016 case in a 4-3 to uphold race, what they call race conscious programs at the University of Texas at Austin. But there are several pending lawsuits challenging such practices of a high-profile university, including Harvard and the University of North Carolina. Granted, Harvard University will take care of its own, period. It's a private university in North Carolina. We don't know what they'll do. The lawsuit in Texas challenging strict voter ID laws. The Justice Department switched its position, dropping the claim that the law was intentional discrimination, later declaring the law had been fixed. This is on the Beauregard Sessions, a man that DJ Trump would like to fire. Vita Gupta, who heads the Civil Rights Division of Vita Gupta was in the Obama administration, now president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, noted the Texas brief voter ID gay rights were signed only by the Trump administration's political appointees and not career people. And this has been one of the things happening here, period. During G.W. Bush's administration, it overseed violated civil service hiring laws, and Inspector General found filling its career ranks with conservatives. And this is who owed scant experience in civil rights law. At the same time, it fought few cases, same old scam. There's a 2006 lawsuit forcing Southern Illinois University to stop reserving certain fellowships for women or members of underrepresented classes. So effectively, all this is a shell game out here. The Post has it here also, and of course cites the New York Times, who is the primary person to bring this out. So now you have the information here. And this is something interesting here, little statistics here. A study from Demos analyzing federal data found that 86% of African American students and 87% of Latino students get loans to attend private universities, compared with 72% of Europeans. At public universities, 81% of African American students got loans to 61% of Europeans. A study found that low and middle income African American students end up accruing $7,721 more in educational debt than Europeans at the same bracket. No doubt about that, because people tend to be most needed. African Americans are much less likely to go to college than Europeans. Amongst those who complete high school, 70% of Europeans enroll in college. That means 30% do not, compared to 63% of African Americans. Now that is of 2015, but amongst graduates, 88% of European public high school graduates complete public high school students graduate, compared to 75% of African Americans. More than two-thirds of Europeans over the age of 25, more than one-third, have a college education, compared to less than a quarter, that'd be 25% of African Americans. Part of this is a function of a long-term wealth gap between African Americans and European households. College is less affordable to those with less income or family wealth. That helps explain the need for more loans. No doubt about that. That is a current need, but now you have more African Americans, I believe, the percentage in college than at any time in the nation's history. And still there's the impact of historic African American universities. A lot of African students are there. Now in 2015, Gallup asked Americans how they felt about affirmative action for women, for racial minorities. Across the board, there was more support for policies that boosted women, in itself a remarkable finding. There was also major support for programs aimed at the racial minorities, but amongst no group that was supported lower than European males. Republicans, the Trump campaign rhetoric, etc., is out there. It is a shell game. If you look at most universities, and if you go into corporate structures, European males are fine. That's why we had the election out in Seattle, period out there. Now, in other words, affirmative action for college-educated families, as shown above. DJ Trump went to the Wofford School of Finance, as did his DJ Trump Jr. and Vodka. The administration, therefore, seems unlikely to have his Attorney General focus on that injustice. Now, no doubt about it, he went to Wofford, but he was at Fordham, but he left early, as one would say. Anyway, you'll find this on our Twitter feed here. So, anyways, the other scam that he has going is always he scams to cut back on immigration by 50%, from 1 million to is the goal there. It's endorsed on the campaign trail. 2 senators have introduced this. Tom Cotton picking cotton from Arkansas, one of these redneck Civil War type states, and Purdue of Georgia. No doubt about that. Unveiled a modified version of a bill that the Senate was first introduced in the Senate in February to create a merit-based system. There are some countries that have these so-called merit-based systems, but I think Australia, Canada, much smaller countries. Legislation seeks to reduce the annual distribution of green cards awarded to permanent residents to about 500,000 from 1 million. That's annually green cards there, but that's a process there. The bill faces dim prospects in the Senate. It has to get 60 votes. It won't get those 60 votes. So another thing, DJ Trump is wasting his time. This is called Reforming American Immigration for Strong Employment Act. Well, they can forget that. So much for that one. Let's look at the we'll do the sports and we'll go to the Quantipack poll to show you where DJ Trump is. The Tigers were in New York and shut out the Yankees. The Blue Jays were on the south side of Chicago. The score there, Toronto 5, White Sox 1. The Twins were, where were they? We're in San Diego. Yeah, I do it the Padres. Okay, Twins 5-2 there. Okay. Cleveland, that was postponed in Fenway Park. Now let's see, where are we going here? Oh, the Royals were in Camden Yard and they were shut out by the Orioles, 6-0. The Reds were at the Pirates in Pittsburgh and Reds 5-2. The Nationals were in Florida and they were shut out by the Marlins, 7-0. The Dodgers in Atlanta, Atlanta 5-3 over L.A. Now, they've lost a few games lately, but they're still way ahead in their division. The Mariners and Rangers in Texas, Rangers 5-1 over Seattle. The D-backs and Cubs. The Cubs were shut out in Wrigley Field, 3-0. Cubs had 4 hits, no error. D-backs had 4 hits, no errors. The Cubs had 3 hits and 1 error. The Cardinals in Milwaukee, 5-4. Cards over the Brewers, but I guess the Brewers drank too much beer. The Rays were in Houston and actually shut the Astros out, 3-0. The Mets were in Denver. Mets 10-5 over the Rockies. The Rockies lost some games lately. The Phillies and Angels in California. The Phillies were shut out, 7-0. The Athletics and Giants in somewhat of a restrained slugfest, I guess you'd call it. Mr. Gossage was the winner. Mr. Moore was the loser. And nonetheless, Athletics 6-1. Oakland had 11 hits, no errors. And the Giants across the bay, 5 hits and no errors there. Giants have had their problems. Now to DJ Trump and the latest fiasco that he has going on. Quinnipiac poll on the 2nd of August. Trump drops to new low, close to 2-1 disapproval. It's Quinnipiac University's national poll. 73% say the president is not level-headed. DJ Trump plunged to a new low. Voters disapprove 61-33. The job he's doing, according to Quinnipiac University's national poll released. European men are divided 47-48. This is not a good sign for DJ Trump. Republicans approve 76-17. European voters with no college degrees, part of the president's base, disapprove 50-43. The approval rating is down from a 55 to 40. 55 in June, 29th survey of the Quinnipiac poll. The president's lowest approval and highest disapproval rating since he was inaugurated. American voters say 54 to 26%. They are embarrassed rather than proud to have him as a president. Oh boy, there's some dynamite stuff here. We posted this up. 57 to 40% say he is abusing his power of his office, and say 60 to 36% said he believes he's above the law. The president is not level-headed, said 71 to 26% of the voters. Voters' opinions, most other than Trump's qualities, have dropped. 61 to 34% say he is not honest. 63 to 34% say he does not have good leadership skills. 59 to 39% say he does not care about the average American. 58 to 39% say he is a strong leader. That's kind of strange. 55 to 45% said he is intelligent. 63 to 34% said he does not share their values. It's hard to pick what is the most alarming numbers in the troubling trail of new lows for DJ Trump. That's according to Dr. Maloney. He is the deputy director of Quinnipiac University's profound embarrassment over his performance in office, deep concerns over his level-headedness, few red flags coming up. I suppose there are a lot of red flags here. American voters give John McCain 57 to 32% favorable rating, with 74 to 18% positive scores in Democrats, 60 to 28 positive ratings from independents. Republicans give McCain a negative 39 to 49 rating. DJ Trump gets a negative 34 to 61% rating, with 79 to 17% score from Republicans. All other groups are negative, with European men split at 47-48. That could go either way. The president attempted to obstruct the investigation into Russian interference. Americans believe 58 to 37. Voters believe 63 to 31 the Russian government had influenced the 2016. None of these are good numbers for him. On the tweets, should stop tweeting from his personal account. American voters say 69 to 27%. The biggest no tweet vote to date. The survey is of 1,025 voters nationwide, with a margin of error of 3.4%. It's conducted by Dr. Douglas Swart, PhD, and it was conducted in nationwide in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Florida, Ohio, Virginia, Iowa, and Colorado as a public service for research. So it does it for that, does it for sports. But we'll see you on Friday Java, on Friday morning. And we did get up an open source report. We looked at virtual private networks and privacy. As it's more of a technical program, but it was pinged. A link was put on the Scoutmaster. That was our program on Wednesday. Nonetheless, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Good day. And stay tuned for our wrap-up from Seattle, the various media out there where you'll hear from Ms. Oliver, Ms. Durkan, and Ms. Moon.
The primary election showed Jenny Durkan holding on to her commanding lead in the race for Seattle mayor tonight. She has about twice as many votes as Cary Moon, then with Nikkita Oliver and Jason Farrell not far behind. KOMO's Patrick Quinn sat down with the frontrunner, Jenny Durkan, today and has more as those votes continue to come in.
A contested race that started with 21 candidates. The three frontrunners for Seattle mayor are Jenny Durkan, Cary Moon, and Nikkita Oliver, with Durkan the overwhelming leader.
We started hustling this morning. I won't stop.
Durkan not resting on the early returns. The former U.S. attorney said her team reached out to more than 35,000 people ahead of the primaries, and she'll continue that pursuit.
That I'm a person who can tackle tough issues, bring people together, and actually drive to solutions, and solutions that will last.
The top two candidates advanced to the November 7th general election, and for the first time in 91 years, Seattle is poised to have a female mayor.
You know, I'm hoping it's not the aberration, it's a trend, right? That's what we need.
Cary Moon believes her urban planning background resonated with voters as she promises substantive changes to homelessness and affordable housing. But if she contends on the November ballot, she knows her biggest obstacle is Durkan.
I will reach out to the other campaigns, Bob Hasagawa, Jason Farrell, Nikkita Oliver, and Mike McGinn, and talk about what do they think are the highest priorities.
Nikkita Oliver's team told me today they're hopeful for a strong push from late voters and millennials whose votes may not be reflected in the current returns.
And we're lawyers and we're educators and we hang out with young people, and I think that just brings a new type of energy that we haven't seen.
Current Mayor Ed Murray is riding out his final months in office, while the forecast for the future is vote by vote becoming a little clearer. And election officials tell me we'll likely see a better picture of this mayoral race tomorrow and Friday. That's when they'll get in the mail-in August 1st ballots, as well as the ballots from all of you who rushed to the boxes late last night. Yes, your votes have likely not been counted yet. In Seattle, I'm Patrick Quinn, KOMO News.
Seattle's next mayor will be a woman.
Just excitement and gratitude for all the votes, for all the support.
Something the city hasn't seen since 1928. Tonight, team coverage of campaign 2017.
And with 19% of ballots counted, Jenny Durkan is holding the top spot in the Seattle mayoral primary with 32% of the vote. The second spot is still up for grabs. Just 3,200 votes separate the next three challengers. Cary Moon has 16%.
Followed by Nikkita Oliver with 14% and Jason Farrell with 12%. Our reporters are covering every angle of this race, and we begin tonight with Chief Political Reporter Essex Porter. Essex, a lot of celebration for Jenny Durkan and her supporters.
Can't tell by looking, but there was quite a crowd here. They're now cleaning up, and the stage still here. Jenny Durkan hopes to be back on this stage in the fall celebrating another victory, but the way she won this one, the way she got so far ahead, is that she had the money to flood mailboxes with direct mail explaining her positions and the issues. And we asked her what issues she'll now run on in the fall.
I think that we have to address the issue of homelessness, and we have to address the issue of affordability. Too many people are being locked out of the city or displaced.
Durkan and her supporters are excited about taking 31% of the vote. That's more than many expected. We asked how she'd now persuade the nearly 70% of the people who voted for someone else.
And just listen as much as I talk, because this really is about what the future of Seattle is, what people want, and how we get to that city that is as wonderful for the next generation as it was for me.
Now, we did ask Jenny Durkan which candidate she might prefer to face in the fall. As expected, she ducked the question. She said she's just happy that Seattle's next mayor will be a woman after 100 years. Reporting live in Seattle, Essex Porter, Cairo 7 News.
And Durkan won't know whom she'll face for a while because, again, the number 2 spot is still up for grabs tonight. The next 3 candidates are all within 3,200 votes of each other.
Cairo 7's Graham Johnson and Gary Horker continue our coverage. Gary, Cary Moon, regarded as an outsider in this race. Seems like it took a while for tonight's results to sink in.
You know, I have to tell you, when we met her at her campaign headquarters party here at Cyclops in Belltown, she seemed very humble and quite surprised by the vote totals, but she admits now that it appears that she's going to be competing head-to-head with Jenny Durkan, she says there are big differences between the two of them about housing, business in Seattle, and a lot more. While Cary Moon's supporters were elated to hear the political underdog was beating the odds, she admitted something to us.
Are you surprised at all?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think, though, you know, we've put out a really strong vision for the future and a really solid platform of substantive solutions.
Moon believes the biggest sticking point she has against frontrunner Jenny Durkan is Seattle's economy. Moon is an urban planner and an engineer best known for her activism against replacing the Alaskan Way Viaduct with a tunnel. Moon was hoping to put parks and affordable housing where the viaduct now stands.
It's not okay to be, you know, a liberal around human rights, but economically right and centrist the way we have been in the city. We need an economy that works for everyone, that's inclusive. It's time to have that conversation in this race.
And the first part of the budget you'd cut in the city is?
Mayor's office.
That's right, she would cut the budget in the mayor's office. She was unclear about what kind of numbers or the people positions she'd cut, but she told me she believes the lack of affordable housing is the biggest crisis this city faces, and she wants to take action, drastic action, against outsiders from out of state she calls profiteers who buy investment properties and drive up all the prices of real estate here in Seattle. She wants to discourage that activity by finding a way to target those people and tax them. We're live outside her campaign headquarters in Belltown. Tonight, I'm Gary Horker, Cairo 7 News.
Now, Gary, we'll see if she gets to push that vision forward, because running a close third tonight is actually Nikkita Oliver, and she spoke to a packed crowd in Washington Hall. Cairo 7's Graham Johnson is live there right now. And Graham, you spoke with Oliver a little more than an hour ago.
And Monique, Nikkita Oliver has nearly 14% of the vote in early returns. The candidate herself told the crowd here that as much as the vote matters, the movement matters. And the mood tonight was electric inside Washington Hall, where Nikkita Oliver spoke, sang, and recited poetry. Hers is an unorthodox campaign for mayor run by the Seattle People's Party. Oliver is focused on affordability, equity, and social justice. She's an attorney who launched a campaign even before Ed Murray's sex scandal because she says the marginalized and disenfranchised are too often ignored by those in politics. Tonight I asked her if she thinks she can close the 1,400 vote gap with Cary Moon for the number 2 position.
It's highly possible. All the ballots are not counted yet, so I don't think anyone should count us out of the running yet. But really what I'm interested in is keeping our communities organizing, and regardless of the results of the primary, that we stay engaged in the election, because it's our engagement that has really brought the substantive issues that we most care about to the forefront of this conversation.
And Nikkita Oliver's campaign never put the returns up on the screen here in the party, a deliberate move, she said, to keep the focus on the movement. Live in Seattle, Graham Johnson, Cairo 7 News.
Many other races to follow tonight. In the race for Seattle City Council Position 8, Teresa Mosqueda is the leader with 31%, followed by John Grant with 24% of the vote. For Seattle City Council Position 9, incumbent Lorena Gonzalez holding a comfortable lead there, 62% of the vote. Pat Murakami at 20%. And right now, a county sales tax for the arts is failing. 55% have voted no on King County Proposition 1.